Well, welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining today is your city administrator, Chad Brecklin. Chad, welcome back to the show, and we're already past the midway point of summer.
Yeah, even the midway point of the year, as a matter of fact.
Oh. Well, you know that because it's budget time.
Right.
Like you're about to end CIP, and budget paperwork has dropped. So that's how you know you're.
That is the second half of the year. Although we start budget, in the first half of the year also. And it seems like we're doing budgeting at some point throughout the entire year, quite honestly.
Pretty much, yeah. I guess you get the paperwork. It's like start the new year off and end the year off with getting through it, but that's okay.
Yep.
A lot of planning here goes on. We'll pick up on that CIP process as we're coming up on July 25th. Will be the hearing on the proposed amendments by our council, and then adoption. What do we have coming up in that realm?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, July 25th will be the last step in the current journey for our capital improvement plan, which is our 10-year planning document for large purchases or investments such as facilities, buildings, equipment, things like highway maintenance equipment, snow plows, police cars, fire trucks, those sorts of things. So road projects are also a hot topic in the CIP. The mayor's plan has been released, as you've mentioned earlier. Amendments were due a couple weeks ago from council members. There were just a few this year. So the council will be debating those amendments. Also be a public hearing associated with the capital improvement plan on the 25th. So anybody from our community who would like to come and speak to one of the items contained within the capital improvement plan or one of the amendments, they are more than welcome to do so. And that'll be at 7:30 on July 25th.
And before you can even close that book, you already have budget out there as well. So differences between capital improvement and budget, although they really do come together.
They do come together and will be have final action, so to speak, in November. But the operating budget, that process, as you mentioned, has also begun. It kind of starts and has a little bit of overlap with our capital improvement planning process. The operating budget is your day-to-day operations. It's the people that make up city government and provide all of the high level of quality services that residents and business owners and others who visit or otherwise come to Fitchburg see, or maybe not see because it's good. There's nothing that's bringing any sort of attention to it other than it simply being good. So that's largely what the operating budget covers, is the people and the costs associated with day-to-day operations. And again, the capital improvement is those longer-term investments, bigger dollars when we're talking projects and those sorts of things.
Yeah, so again, if you want to come out, have feedback on the CIP process, July 25th, 7:30 here at City Hall in our council chambers. You can also watch that live here on Fact TV. And of course, if you want to register to speak via outside of being here, you can do so as well. All right, I bring up construction because we do have a little bit of an update on the Cyene Road project that's going on. A little bit of a delay, so to speak. We've talked about it last time, but where do we sit as of today?
So as we had previously talked, there were some utility relocations that were causing some delays, and I'm pleased to report, hot off the press, shared through our local Fact TV correspondent here, Jeremy Crosby, to me, that he noticed that there was an update provided this week and that our utility relocations have been completed over last weekend, and we are going to begin moving more earnestly through the remaining portions of the construction there on Cyene Road. So we appreciate everyone's patience through this project. We know it's been, when you look at other projects on the Cyene Road corridor, a multi-year process already, and there is still more to go in future years coming up. But we, again, do appreciate patience and understanding, particularly through the delays, and we know it's an inconvenience, and we hope people can look past that and recognize that those improvements, when this project is completely done, will hopefully provide a much better traveled road.
Yeah, it is going to look awesome when it's done. That project moves up to East Sherrill Parkway, so that is what still needs to be completed this year. So will we see that intersection close eventually and the other side of Lacey and Cyene open up?
So yes, I think that's the plan, and my understanding is Lacey and Cheryl has traffic signals going in, so that may be able to be done with maybe some more limited road closures versus full road closures, and then of course Lacey and Cyene was a bit more complex with the railroad tracks right there. You know, a mere few hundred feet, if that.
Just a small challenge
from
there. Yeah.
from the actual intersection itself, probably less than 100 feet, quite honestly. So yeah.
All right. Well, we'll keep you up to date as that changes, but good update to hear on that front. All right, let's turn to some development and projects coming up. Yesterday, we had the patio open up. And when I say patio open up, I mean that there is a patio, but we're getting a extended patio, if you will, at the Fitchburg Senior Center, breaking ground yesterday. Such a cool project.
Yeah. This has been a project that's been spearheaded by Jill McCone, our Senior Center Director. Who had identified a need for a patio to help improve programming and options for those who visit the senior center with another area in which they can spend time. And this patio looks great. I've seen the conceptual designs. And as you've mentioned, there was a groundbreaking for the patio, and this has been largely possible not only through the efforts of Jill and her team, but through the efforts of many in our community, both residents, businesses, and others, because this is a fundraising campaign for this patio. It's not utilizing any city tax dollars for the patio itself. So we're looking at, I think, close to $100,000 in overall cost. And again, this is all being funded through private donations. So we certainly appreciate the community's help and support on that. Much like nearly anything that's going to be successful, it requires a team effort. And we certainly have a very wide community-based team effort on this one. So we're real happy to see it breaking ground.
It's always nice to see, if you're doing a fundraising campaign to find that interest there. And the Senior Center has touched so many people in so many different ways in the activities, the services that they provide and beyond. So yeah, much appreciated to everybody that's been a part of this, who came out for the groundbreaking and who will enjoy the amenities and programming and other things that come with the patio too. So a lot more to come. Very excited to see that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do our show down there, during the summertime. It's just nice enough.
Hopefully
Like, it gives us a reason to go outside.
Right, exactly. Hopefully it'll be done in time for fall, and maybe we'll get a nice fall day to do it.
Or we could just be out there January 1.
We could. Just dressed appropriately.
No, we'll
maybe trucking in some portable heaters.
Yeah, oh gosh. Yeah. Maybe that'll be an added feature, and we can fundraise for in the future. Finally, another important piece opening up in the city of Fitchburg. It's been talked about because it's going to benefit so many people and getting people interested in the trades. It's the Boys and Girls Club McKenzie Workforce Center opened up over the weekend. Just tell us a little bit about that project and how lucky we are to have it here in Fitchburg.
Yeah, this is a great project, as you've kind of mentioned here in your opening statements on it, Jeremy, that we're really, really pleased to have locally here in Fitchburg. It was nice to see the recent article that showed up from one of our local regional newspapers, really having a strong mention of the fact that this center is located in Fitchburg and what the value of this particular center will have on the ability to help provide youth with an opportunity to determine, what career path might be appropriate for them and what they may have interest in, and really gives an opportunity for them to kind of try it out before they make a commitment into something. And when you talk about having the opportunity to try something before, making a full commitment, I mean, you end up more often than not with a much better outcome, right? I know that as a person who might be looking to get into a trade, for instance, in this case, that if I do this trial, an apprenticeship type stuff and recognize that this is something I like to continue, odds are I'm more likely to find satisfaction in that, and a future employer is likely to find an employee who's interested and committed to that field. So all of the donations that have come in for this particular project as well throughout the region have been impressive. I think we're in the mid-30s. When we talk in the millions of dollars that have been raised. Obviously, Mr. McKenzie has been a driving force behind this, the Madison Area Builders Association, many trade-related businesses and companies, and then, of course, Michael Johnson and the Boys and Girls Club have all come together to bring this center here to Fitchburg that is likely to become a national model, as we've all seen, where there's now multiple areas throughout the country that are now already taking a look at this model as a potential solution for similar deficiencies in skilled trades workers coming into professions. So I can't wait to get a tour after the facility has opened. I was in on a tour as it was under construction and saw a lot of the plans and looked great. I know our mayor, Rada Frada, was at the formal event, and a handful of other city staff over the weekend, and I'm sure that the photos didn't necessarily do it justice as what it looks like in person. So really great facility.
We're looking forward to taking that tour. So we took a tour early on as well with Michael Johnson and got to share some of the great things coming out of that. But we're looking forward to coming back as they move forward. And at 22 new sites proposed across the United States, familiar to this, was announced on Saturday, which is cool. I mean, just in its own right, that this has something, or there's something to be said about what's going on here. And my favorite comment of all from the Madison mayor, well, I wish it was in Madison, but I'm certainly glad it's in our region because it's helping the whole region with the trades and getting young people who may not be interested in college get that chance and try to get it early too. I think that's another part of it is they're trying to get them before 10th grade.
Right. Yeah. Well, some kids recognize early on, what might be of interest to them and what may not, and this is another opportunity for kids to be exposed to things that they may not have been exposed to previously and help them through their journey of deciding, what might I want to do after high school. Yeah. And it's great to have those options available. We talk, for those of us who have had kids go through high school, a lot of the talk is college or career ready, right? And this is another portion in that journey to allow kids to be college and or career ready when they complete high school.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're again glad to have it here. Boys and Girls Club has a facility in Fitchburg already. Having this is awesome, and we'll look forward to sharing more stories with that. Chad, thank you for your time as always. We'll check back in the month of August.
Sounds great.
All right, thank you.